All right, guys, so today what I'm going to be working with you all on is some just kind of basic, some fundamental spins, figure eights that we should all know. And then after that, we're going to move forward into some little bit more advanced, more fun stuff. Let's start with the basics. I'll be going through pretty much all of the general figure eight motion spins you need. So forward figure eight, passing figure eight, two-handed figure eight, and turbocharger. And then from there, we're going to do behind the back spin, and that'll be about it for this first video here. So just to start with forward figure eight, the reason we call it, remember figure eight, right? The big sideways eight, the infinity, right? Going over and over again. You just want to think before you start, I always like to take my hand, pretend it's like a paintbrush, and rotate my wrist over and over again. And just with the tips of your fingers, you want to visualize yourself painting that eight over and over again. Because the more you practice with the staff, the more you come to find it's not really about how you move your arms, it's always about how I move my wrist and my hips, right? That's where the speed, the power, the flow, all that comes from, is from the wrist, right? So to start with that forward figure eight, all you're gonna do is just replicate that exact same shape you had. You're just gonna go over and out and over and out. You always wanna remember as well, especially when spinning, you want a really tight grip here at the top, in between your thumb and index finger. You want the other fingers to stay on the staff, but they don't have to be as tight as right there. The most important thing is that you're tight right up there. That way your wrist is free to move and rotate across, right? So you notice I keep the elbow in tight and just move the wrist back and forward. That way you can speed up if you need to, right? Has a lot more flow to it. And on top of that, I would add for demonstration purposes, remember, figure eights always look better to the side. That way you can see all those big circles the staff makes, right, as it goes across. And as you do that, make sure you practice in the other hand as well, especially since we have passing figure eight coming up. So we want to be able to do this well with both hands, right? So practice that a couple times on your own. And then what you want to do is you start adding the pass, the kind of natural progression I like to think of here. We rotate across the body, right? But instead of going all the way across like we would before for a normal figure eight, we're only going to go halfway, right? Halfway across, wait till my palm turns up, and then I'm going to grab underneath with the opposite hand. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rotate across, wait till my palm turns up, grab underneath, and then rotate across again. And I'm going to kind of continue that and just do it over and over and over again. So spin across, grab underneath, and then you just kind of push. And if you notice, I keep my knees slightly bent. That way I can turn my hips and move my whole body with the spin, right? Again, that allows me to work less, whoop, almost dropped it there, but do more, right? I can move a lot faster and spin further if I turn the hips like that. Here it is again from the side, which for demonstration, I would definitely want to make sure I turned and did it to the side. That way they can see those big, nice, pretty circles you're making, right? And that's your forward passing figure eight, right? And now next, you're going to have turbocharger. And turbocharger is everyone's favorite. It's always everyone's favorite. It looks really cool because it's from the side, like I just mentioned. You get to see all those big circles. But it's really not, it's not that difficult either. It's really just your forward figure eight, but you're gonna take your arm, put it off to the side, and spread your legs about shoulder width apart. And that's our turbocharger there, just rotating across. Again, good tight grip in the middle of the staff. And all you do is that same figure eight motion again, just roll the wrist. Not a lot of arm. If you watch my arm, all it's doing is moving about that far, back and forth. Everything else is in the wrist, right? It's here in the wrist. Just roll across. And if you notice as well, there should be a slight rocking to my body as I go across. Not a big one. I see some people go like this sometimes. That's a little too much. You're gonna risk hitting yourself. So just remember, you want a slight rock back and forth, but for the most part, you wanna leave it all up to the wrist there, all right? So keep that in mind and make sure, again, you practice it on both sides for that turbocharger. And then once you get that down, go ahead and pause for a second, practice that, and once you have it down, you'll be ready for this next step, which is going to be behind the back spin. So for that, I'll demonstrate behind first. The first thing I always like to do is I think point. I'm gonna point off to the side with the end of my staff, right? Then from here, I'm gonna go up behind my back, thumbs up, give everyone a thumbs up, make sure they're okay, right? Then you're gonna reach behind and grab with the left hand. See how I've got 2 thumbs up now, just like that. Hands are touching. You're gonna release with the right hand. You're gonna rotate up behind you and touch the palm of your hand, almost like you want to plop it on top of your head, right? Like a lily pad up on your head. You want palm down just like that. Then you're gonna reach that right hand back around and grab underneath again. Both palms down, that's very important. Then from here, all you're gonna do is release with the left hand and unwind with the right. See, now I'm back to my point and I can do it again. So roll behind, 2 thumbs up, let go with the right, roll over with the left, palm down, point, right? And you're just gonna kind of repeat that process over and over again. So if you can remember, thumbs up, palms down, then this spin is actually gonna come a lot easier to you than you think. But just think like that. Here it is from the front. Here's down, you can't see it, but both thumbs are up, right? Straight up, pointing behind. Then I'm gonna release with the right, roll up with the left, just like that. Grab underneath, see how it's just off my head, and then roll across, just like that. And that's behind the back spin. So watching it from the front, looks just like this. And then obviously from behind, looks about the same, but not quite as nice. But that's all right, that way you can see all the thumbs up and the palms down. Go ahead and check up on me, make sure I'm doing it correctly. And now the nice thing about this spin is if you have it down and if you have turbocharger down, it's really easy to just chain them together. In fact, some of my way more advanced students, if you've seen Bonghyung Sambu before, you've probably seen this move where you go across, turbocharger, and then behind the back spin. So if you get those 2 down, I encourage you to mix them together and just kind of play around with it. But all right, that's gonna be all your basic spins with me, so practice those on your own. There you go.